Hi everyone, how are you? It's Thursday and it's probably late. The kids are back to school, so we're back on a different routine and we're back on a different schedule. But it's Throwback Thursday, and I felt the need today to share in my groups a little bit about my story and tell you basically a few answers to questions that people have on how was it that Uniris changed? What caused Uniris to change? Because when someone changes, something big has to happen, right, in their lives. And it's seriously, I wasn't out of this world. And for me to change, it took getting to a point where I was very, very unhappy. I was unhappy with my body. I was unhappy with the way I was treating my body. And I was unhappy with the thoughts I was allowing to live in my mind and in my heart. And when I looked at myself, maybe 10 years from that moment, I didn't like what I saw. So I'm gonna give you a little bit of a background on who I was, right? So as I'm speaking to you, I was maybe 36 years old. I had 2 children via C-section. So I had a beautiful job, but it was also a stressful job. And I handle stress with eating. The way that I make sure that I numb the stress was through food. If I was happy, I ate, and if I was sad, I ate. So as a result of that, I gained a lot of weight because I stood on my feet most of my day during my work hours. I was a teacher, so I spent a lot of time on my feet. My ankles were swollen. My lower back was constantly in pain, and I was always achy. Like, I never wanted to run any place. All I wanted to do was sleep. I didn't have energy to do anything, and I was very prone to depression, especially around my menstrual cycle. I was very PMS, chronic PMS. I was very hi Sophie. I was very addicted to sugar. Sugar was my drug. Sugar was my high. I actually ended up putting like 4 teaspoons of sugar in my coffee. And I went from drinking like a small coffee, I went all the way up to a large coffee. So I would put from 4 to 6 teaspoons of sugar on it so that I could be able to survive a full day. So I wasn't happy. I wasn't happy with myself, and I wasn't happy with what my kids were looking at. I wasn't happy with what my husband had. Like, when he married me, I was a fit woman. I was not big. Like, I wasn't. So to see myself let go that way was a disappointment. It was a true painful place for myself, because now when people invited me to go places, I immediately thought, what am I gonna wear? I had already gone from size 8 to size 10 to size 12 to size 14, and now my 14 were fitting very tight, and I was at this point of moving on to size 16. And when I started to look, my blouses were like extra large and very flowy so that I can hide my bulge. I use lots of dark colors because that way I can disimular my big things. And that would be my first thought, like, what am I gonna wear? I'd rather not go, because people are judgmental. And I had my daughter, she was 3 years old, but I had not lost the weight. So it was almost like a disappointment for myself. Then I would go to sleep at night Of course, after having, watching a movie and stuffing my face with ice cream and putting, the brownies and the cookies, because I know how to set up a sundae. I know how to do that. And I was a very good baker, and I prided myself on that. But going to bed with a full stomach, laying on the side, and feeling as if I was 3 months pregnant when I knew I wasn't. I didn't have a baby inside of me. So that, although I wanted to avoid the thought, it came with me wherever I went. And I felt insecure, so wherever I sat, I would, push down. I would wear fajas, girdles underneath my clothes to tighten up the loose ends and to make myself feel better and to cover up what I couldn't control at the moment. So when I get to that point, someone asked me, like, how can I change? How can I do that? And my answer is, you have to get to a point where you are completely disgusted with yourself, and not in a negative way, but it's almost like enough is enough. When you get to that point of enough is enough, then you figure it out. And that's where I was. I was at that point where enough is enough, Uniris. Like, wake up. Wake up, because you've let yourself go too far. So at that point, I needed to make a decision. And my single one decision that I made was, I need change. I need change. All I needed to change was the outside. That's all I wanted. I wanted to change the way I looked. I wanted to change the way I felt about the body, the toolbox that held myself. I wanted to change that. I didn't know anything else. All I knew was that I needed to change myself. So I made a decision to change. And that decision required one step, which was an action step. I needed to actually decide that I was going to have to do a physical piece to it, because I had to change my thought that I was going to change without any work, because I wanted change the easy way. I had already tried the pills. I had already tried Nutrisystem. I had already tried Weight Watchers. I had already tried, the teas and the cabbage soups and the easy way out. I had to change that thought process, and I had to go into accepting the fact that it was going to take work, and that it wasn't going to be just through working out, because I also wanted to just work out like 1 month and see results. I had to combine working out with nutrition, and that was going to take some sacrifice on my part, because in order for me to work out, I couldn't leave my house because I had 2 young kids, and I also had a full-time job, and I had to cook. And my husband worked in the city, so I lived in Connecticut, and I needed to make it happen. So I didn't have the time to go to a gym. I had to make it happen in my home. So in order for me to make it happen, I had to do it while my children were asleep. So I made a decision that came with an action step, that was a physical step to make a change. And then that decision came with a goal. All I needed was 30 pounds. I was going to lose 30 pounds. And when I lost 30 pounds, I was going to be happy, because at the time I was 190 pounds. And if I lost 30, I would be 160. So that would bring me down from a size comfortable 16 to 14. I would be back down to like an 8 and a 10. I would be so happy with an 8 or a 10, because I had not been at an 8 or a 10 since I was maybe 25, and at this time I was already 36. So I had 11 years just of adding on pounds into my life. And 30 pounds were good enough for me. So I made a commitment for 90 days that I was gonna do whatever it took to lose those 30 pounds. So now I had a goal in my mind, and the only goal I had was to lose those 30 pounds. So whatever step I had to follow, I was gonna do them. My coach Saudi, told me, I'm gonna help you. I'm gonna give you the meal plan. I'm gonna help you with the, you're gonna start off with this fitness program. You're gonna do it for 90 days and you're gonna see results. I was like, yes, I'm game. I'm all in. So I started in November for election day. And I went through my birthday, which was December. I went through Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's. I remember even February, Valentine's Day. I went through it. But I was committed to those 30 pounds that I was gonna lose. Because at the beginning of it, it started with a decision that made me feel disgusted, that I needed to take action, that I wanted to change. And I did whatever it took because I knew if I wanted to stay the same, I wasn't gonna see anything different. So my desire to see something different was bigger than staying the way I was before. And at the end of the day, I created a habit inside of me. I would get up at 4:45 in the morning. I worked out. At that time, my workouts were between 45 minutes to 30 minutes, sometimes an hour. If I had to wash my hair and dry it up to go to work in a presentable manner, I had to get up at 4:45 in the morning and work out 6 days out of the week. And I would be out of the house by 7. So my sacrifice was big, but the return was amazing. I didn't lose 30 pounds. I lost 50 pounds. I didn't lose any time with my kids. I was afraid of that. I actually gained my life back. Because now, instead of wasting time sleeping, watching TV, or depressed, thinking of how I was going to solve this problem, now I had energy back. Now I had instilled belief in myself that I could do anything I set my mind to do. So now I was a more confident wife. Now I was a more confident mom. Now I was a more confident woman who went into a dressing room and felt happy in the skin she lived. And that piece was how almost 4 years ago, this not coming November, I will celebrate my anniversary, 4 years, and I will be happy to share that for 4 years, I have stayed consistent in my fitness, in my health, in my nutrition. I have not lost anything. I've added years to my life. People say to me, I'm always, fooling around and saying that I'm going to be 40 years old in December. And that's one of my biggest goals, to defeat age. And a lot of people say, you've actually lost 10 years. You look younger. And that's thanks to nutrition. That's thanks to working out. That's thanks to actually investing in myself and giving myself an opportunity to change. So that's my short answer to you. As a Throwback Thursday, I have not remained the same person I was before. It starts up here. And unless you are ready to make that change, unless you're ready to make that decision that it's gonna be with you forever, I can't give it to you because I can't make you feel disgusted. I wouldn't be a good friend if I did that. I can't make you feel the need for change because only you know what you feel when you dress up. Only you know what you feel when you look at yourself in the mirror. And only you know the relationship you have with yourself. And if you're happy and confident and satisfied with that, then okay. But if not, ask yourself, is it worth staying this way? Or should I give myself an opportunity to change? And if your answer is, I am worth an opportunity for change, then I would like to be your coach. I would like to be the person who holds you accountable to your goals. I would like to be the one to work with you and share with you the recipes and the same step-by-step process that I followed in order for me to see success and to be able to sustain it for this long and to enjoy it and to love every minute of it. So you don't have to act right away, but please message me, comment below, and let's set up a time to talk. because I'm interested in helping women like you, because I know what it feels like to be on your end, and it's not a fun place to be. So let's talk, and let's end 2016 on a high note, because you are worth it. If you believe it right now, or if you have to go through the process so that you can uncover your strength, you are worth it. Believe it.